Direct Connection is made by MPT to serve all of our diverse communities and is made possible by the generous support of our members. Thank you. Live from Maryland Public Television, this is Direct Connection with Jeff Salkin.
Hi, everybody, and thanks for tuning in for Direct Connection. Tonight, the arrival of 2016. Not on the calendar yet, but the 2016s are starting to roll into your neighborhood car dealerships. Tonight, we focus on big changes in the automotive world with John Davis, the host and executive producer of Motor Week, television's longest-running automotive series. John, thanks for being with us.
Oh, delighted, Jeff. Thanks for asking.
We have so much to talk about. We have gas prices, we have self-driving vehicles, but we have this incredible news story with Volkswagen and its emissions scandal. This involves diesels?
Yes, it involves 2009 to 2015 2-liter turbocharged diesels, which is the core of their diesel product. And almost every car that has that engine, and there's about 480,000 of them on the U.S. roads alone, has been found to have an emission system that runs one way when it's being tested in a static laboratory test like by the EPA, but runs much dirtier when you and I are driving it down the road. And that's the scandal that VW has now admitted that these cars do pollute more when they're driving. We're talking nitrogen oxides, things that give you asthma and cause smog, 40 times more polluting than they should be. They look great under laboratory conditions, but they're not so great when you're driving them.
It's an amazing story because if all of that is true, they had to actively go build a system, program it to make that work.
Yes, there's something called a defeat device, which is just jargon for an algorithm, mathematics, that when the car would sense it was hooked up for an EPA test, a static test, it would adjust the engine parameters and it would give you great numbers. But when you're driving it, ostensibly to get that peppiness that these engines are noted for and the great 45 to 50 mile per gallon fuel economy, it would run a different way. And in those cases, it's polluting. And there's some evidence that VW executives knew this as long as a year ago and maybe longer.
This is a vehicle, or these are vehicles that you've driven?
Yes, it's 2009 to 2015. It involves Golfs, Jettas, some Passats, even the Audi A3 is involved. This is the core, anything that's got that 2-liter turbo motor. However, some vehicles that have it, like some of the models of their little SUV Tiguan, are not included in this particular scandal at the moment, but may well be as we go down the road.
So if you're an owner, you're not at risk. I mean, there's no danger here.
This is not a safety situation. These cars run wonderfully, and they're going to keep running wonderfully, and probably until they get repaired. Then they may not run so wonderfully. That's the big bugaboo here. So this is not a safety recall. There's no reason to park the car. It's fine. It may take them a year to figure out how to reprogram these computers and start to put the fixes in. And the government has indicated they're going to give them time. They realize this can't be redone overnight. But you're looking at, the estimated fines that VW may face could be well into the 10 billion or more. 18 billion is being bandied about. The lawsuits, the lawsuits from German stockholders, because the stock has dropped 25% of its value. If you own one of these cars, you've seen the value of your car probably drop today about 25%. So this is an onion that just is starting to be peeled away. We saw General Motors pretty much kill off the appetite for diesel cars in the 1980s, and it looks like Volkswagen is getting ready to do it in the 21st century.
Does this mean there's no such thing as a clean diesel?
Well, they pretty much invented that term. No. A lot of diesels are still fine. The evidence is that BMWs and Mercedes and some of the diesels that are being driven, especially in trucks by U.S. makers, they're fine. I'm sure everybody's going to go back and check their results again under both actual driving and laboratory conditions, but it doesn't mean the clean diesels are not clean. But the Europeans don't like the fact that diesels still pollute as much as they do. And there's actually a movement there where diesels are the predominant choice by most people to actually outlaw diesels in the future. And this debacle is going to give that particular movement some way. So I don't know where this is all going to end up.
What's it do to the VW brand? I mean, they didn't kill anybody here, and you think about the other scandals. I mean, there's the problem with the airbags, which is not so much a scandal, but the General Motors ignition thing, people died.
That's right, and that was a case where they pretty much laid it at the feet of an engineer and a few other people in the company, rightfully or wrongly. This one looks like corporate mismanagement on a much higher scale. And this is a brand that has spent lots of money building its image as the everyman's German car. You know, you get all the sports sedan driving abilities of an expensive German car and something that's affordable. Audi basically has built itself up to being a very high-ranking luxury brand where they weren't, say, 20 years ago. Lots of damage there, and it'll take probably 20, 30 years to correct it. It's going to be a long time.
Let's shift gears for a moment. Talk about an automotive enterprise that hasn't let anybody down for 35 years now. Oh. And that would be Motor Week.
You flatter us.
Your show in its 35th season. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. 35 years and counting. It's been a wonderful ride. This was a project that a few folks here at Maryland Public Television and I put together a pilot in 1978. We got on the air in 81. We thought, hey, this is going to be fun to do for a while, maybe 4 or 5 years. We wanted to bring the automotive magazine to television, but I don't think any of us thought it would be, rumbling down the road at 35 years. Let
me remind our viewers, if you have a question about anything automotive related, John Davis is here to answer all questions. Give us a call. We'll have the number on the screen. You could also tweet your questions. Our Twitter address is @MPT News. Before we take some calls, the other big thing going on is the gas is $2 a gallon. Who thought we would see that again? What does it mean for the business, for the sales of big, heavy pickups or little fuel-efficient Priuses?
Well, mindful that we still have the rules on the books that are going to force cars and trucks to get ever better fuel economy, we are seeing basically a huge surge in pickup trucks, although now many of them have 6-cylinder engines versus V8s, and they are more fuel efficient. And if you want a Nissan Leaf or a Chevrolet Volt or even a hybrid from Toyota, there's lots of them on the lot, and they're actually dealing on them. So there's no question that the public is swayed by the price of gasoline, and right now they're not so much concerned about fuel economy because it's $2. It was right up the street. It's $2.08 this morning.
Let's grab a phone call. Baltimore County, this is Janet. Janet, thanks for the call. Go ahead.
Yes, good evening, Jeff, John, and this is Janet. It's a J thing we've got going on. I'd like to know.
That's why we took the call. We like you. Go ahead.
I'd like to know your guest thoughts about Honda discontinuing the Cross Tour. It will no longer be available after the 2015 model or year.
That is correct. The Cross Tour was basically one of these 5-door coupe-like shaped sedans that really was a hatchback. It's really kind of a swoopy SUV. They tried it. Most people didn't like the looks of it. Everybody that owns one loves them, but the public just wasn't caught on by it. And also, it only had 6-cylinder power, and most Honda owners like very energetic 4-cylinder engines. So it's been around for its natural life. It's going to go away, and I'm sure Honda would like to take those owners and get them into, say, a new Honda Pilot, which is actually a much more useful vehicle. But you're among a growing minority that will miss the Cross Tour, and it's one of those cars that you don't think it has a lot of carrying room until you open up the hatch, and then you think, my gosh, I can get the state of Maryland in there. It's huge.
How big has the crossover segment gotten?
It's gigantic and growing. And really, sedans are dead.
We should explain what it is. Okay, sedans are dead.
A crossover is just industry jargon for basically a car-type chassis. Maybe it's got a little more ground clearance, maybe it's a little boxier, but it's basically a front-wheel drive car underneath. They put an all-wheel drive system for it for all weather. It's not meant to be taken seriously off-road, and all of a sudden it's part car, part SUV, gets better fuel economy than a pure SUV. You sit high like a truck, and it's taking over the market. If you're building a new 4-door sedan these days, you've got to work to get people to pay any attention to it while everybody wants a crossover. It's the new American car.
Prince George's County, this is Ken. Ken, thank you for the call. Go ahead.
Yes, good program. John. Good show.
Thank you, sir.
John, what is your opinion on the Mitsubishi Outlander Sport 2013 and above?
You know, it's a good question because Mitsubishi is a company that's gotten a lot of headlines for curtailing its operations here. They're going to stop building the Sport in its Indiana factory there because, oddly enough, most of them were shipped to Russia, and their economy going into the tank has hurt that factory. Wow. We actually have one on our in our fleet. I love it. It's highly reliable. It's very maneuverable. It gets great gas. It's a small crossover SUV. So we were talking about those. But my only concern would be to make sure that if you buy one, you've got a dealer reasonably in a good distance. I wouldn't worry about parts, even if they decide to stop selling cars here. And there's no indication that's going to happen. You'll still be able to get parts. It's a solid little vehicle.
I was going to ask if, on the subject of the autonomous vehicles, the self-driving cars, if you've test-driven one, but I guess that's not possible if it's a... No. If you go for a test ride, perhaps.
You go for a test ride. Well, there probably are some folks that have ridden in them. I'm sure there's lots of journalists, because I've read the articles, most of them with magazines like Wired and so forth. I actually haven't had that opportunity yet. But I've driven in cars that have so many subsystems that will make up the autonomous car, like, you know, radar braking and all of that, that I really sometimes feel like I'm in an autonomous car because you're driving down the road, it steers you back into the proper lane, it slows you down when you're getting too close to the car in front of you, and these are cars we test all the time. The only thing different is I've still got my hands on the wheel. How
do you feel about that? I mean, the control thing, I mean, it took me a while to get used to the idea of anti-lock brakes.
Right. I, as a car enthusiast, I'm not crazy about it. There are some things like backup cameras that give you a good bird's eye view of what's going on behind you. Cool, and blind spot monitoring to let you know if somebody's in your blind spot. I like them. Radar cruise control, I'm not a big fan of because I keep wondering, why am I slowing down? On the other hand, the automatic braking systems that often come hand to hand with those, they're very valuable, especially when you're talking about pedestrians. All of these subsystems are necessary to make the truly autonomous car. So today you can actually go buy a car that will do everything an autonomous car will, except you still have to have your hands on the steering wheel.
You think we're going to see fully autonomous?
Well,
and how would that ever interact on
with
our
everybody
beltway
else?
At rush hour? Right.
That's a good question. Now, Cadillac and Audi claim that by next spring they will be selling a car that you will be able to take your hands off the wheel in rush hour traffic, and it will figure out everything around you, and it will drive autonomously under some conditions. My personal feeling is that a wide fleet of autonomous cars probably will first appear under controlled circumstances like within city, downtown areas, and maybe with services like Uber. But I think we're a long way from seeing them just be mass marketed.
Let's get to some calls. Baltimore City, this is Harold. Harold, thanks for the call. Go ahead.
Yeah, good evening. My point is that several years ago, the United States diesel manufacturers of large trucks ran into exactly the same situation that Volkswagen is in, and I'm just surprised that their executives didn't take a cue from that. That's it.
Oh, I think somebody took a cue from it because otherwise this was a deliberate act. But what he's talking about there is that the big heavy-duty trucks ran into all sorts of problems trying to clean up their act. And I'm not sure there was anything illegal done at the time, but it certainly was a mess for big haulers.
Here's a Twitter question. Are there any breakouts coming in the family sedan, Camry, Accord, and so forth?
You know, that's a very good question because
nobody's paying attention.
Nobody's really paying that much attention, which means there's great values out there. As we speak tonight, Volkswagen is actually introducing a revised version of its midsize sedan in New York. Now, if anybody really cares, there's a revamped Nissan Altima. The breakout car for me this year is actually the up-level Nissan called the Maxima. I think that's a stunning automobile that takes the midsize car for families up into the luxury level. There's also a new Chevrolet Malibu, and people have dismissed the Malibu for years, but this one looks like it could be a winner. So there's a couple coming along.
Frederick County, this is Leland. Leland, thank you for calling. Go ahead.
Thank you. I'm concerned that when there is a recall of the 2-liter diesel, that many owners may decide to not bring them in to get them repaired. Is there a way of making sure that they indeed are repaired?
I'm concerned too. I personally think, most people will say, I'm not going to take it in because it might not run as well, maybe it won't get as good a fuel economy, so I'll sit on it. We don't have the laws on the books, at least in most states, that require that recalls be done before you can sell a car or re-register it. And
because it's not a safety thing.
It's not a safety thing, and even most states don't even have that. So I personally think the take on this is going to be very small, but the government's going to lean on Volkswagen to try and get people, to make them do the hard work of getting people to come in. And they may lure them in with monetary situations. Come in and get your car done and we give you something back, or who knows. They may have to come up with something that major in order to entice people to come in and get the cars fixed. If they can be fixed. No one actually knows if the cars can be fixed at the moment. It's all computerized and you think they can just change the programming, but it's very possible the cars might run so badly that nobody will want them. No one really knows yet.
Story is just getting started.
It's just getting started.
Let's go out to York, Pennsylvania. This is Sandy. Sandy, thank you for calling. Go ahead.
Good evening.
Hi.
I have a 2013 Mercedes-Benz E350 convertible. I'm going away for 4 weeks, and my Mercedes dealer advised me to put a triple charger on it, except when I open the hood, you have to be Houdini to be able to figure out how to even get the top off, let alone connect the triple charger.
I'm not a car care guru. That's Pat Goss on our show. But I will tell you that if it was my car and I was only going away for 4 weeks and I had a good, fresh battery in it, I really wouldn't worry too much about it. Now, if your battery's 3 years old, the weather's going to get cold, you might have an issue. I'd spend my time having somebody put a fresh battery in it and not worry about it. 4 weeks is not a long time.
Mercedes, you say? You just bring it here. We'll drive it around for a few weeks.
Yeah, we'll be happy to.
We'll keep it fresh.
A new Motor Week test car.
So what's happening in the hybrid class?
Yeah.
There's a new Prius coming out.
New Prius with much better batteries than they've had before. The new Malibu that I mentioned, they're actually going to have a real hybrid model of it. Of course, we've got the Honda, and Hyundai has just released new hybrids. Hybrids, which are part gas and part electric, they're going to become, as we continue down this road of requirements for better fuel economy by the government, they're going to become almost the standard powertrain in an awful lot of vehicles.
You know, last time I always get to consult John. It's one of the perks of working here when you're buying a vehicle, and I had crunched the numbers on a hybrid, and the break-even point was way out there.
And now the gas is cheaper.
That was expensive gas. Now gas is cheap. Does it slow down that transition?
Oh yeah, I think you could make a case when gas was near $4 that a hybrid would pay you back in 3 to 5 years. Then now it's probably more like 7 or 8. People are keeping their cars much longer. They're keeping their cars, 10 and 11 years these days. So it probably will still pay off. But there's another psychological aspect. It's that idea of being able to drive a full-size family car 40, 45, 50 miles without stopping, all day long without stopping at the gas.
Feeling, right.
It's still a great feeling not to have to stop and fill up. So there is a psychological aspect, but on a pure financial basis, it doesn't pay yet.
Let's drive out to Allegheny County. Lisa on the line. Lisa, thanks for the call. Go ahead.
Hi, this is Lisa from Frostburg, Maryland, and I'm wondering when I have a 2003 Subaru Baja, and I'm wondering when Subaru will bring back the Baja.
Well, I'm afraid I wouldn't hold my breath. The Baja was kind of like a very small half car, half pickup truck. There is slight movement in the small pickup market. We've seen new small pickups from GM. There's talk that Ford's going to bring the Ranger back, but they're actually pretty big for a small pickup. There's nobody out there right now today that I'm aware of that's going to do the really tiny pickup except for Jeep. Jeep is getting ready probably within the next few months to announce that they are going to do a Wrangler pickup truck. It will be bigger than what she's talking about, but it'll have a small pickup bed and still room for 4 people.
St. Mary's County, this is Eileen. Eileen, thank you for calling. Go ahead.
Yes, I would like a suggestion that you'd give to an older woman with a perfect driving record to drive safely and to where, since she's shrinking, to be where she can see where she's going.
Well, let me tell you, on the seat situation, there's no substitute from going from car dealer to car dealer, getting in the vehicles with power seats that have power height adjustment, and see if you can raise yourself up enough so you have a clear vision over the steering wheel and over the hood. There's no one that can make a suggestion because everybody is built differently. You may find that some of the European cars and some of the domestics give you a little more height than some of the Asian products, but that's again why everybody's heading to crossovers, because small crossovers give you that height. That's one of their trademarks.
One of the things I find in a car that's relatively low to the ground at night, the headlights of people behind you shine right in, and especially now that the headlights are these very pinpoint bright
LEDs.
Yeah, they seem a little bit more disturbing than they used to be.
And it's true because it has to do with the color of the light. They're not actually any brighter as far as lumens than what we've always been used to, but the different color changes, getting to a bluer light, irritates the eyes. We saw it first with the halogens, and then we went on from there to now we're at the LEDs, where you've got lots of little beams coming at you. And of course, you're talking about someone in like an SUV that's raised up about 6 inches more than you are. I find it very bothersome. I look for a car that's got some kind of an automatic day-night mirror that automatically dims, because as I get older, my eyes become much more susceptible to it. I don't know what the cure is, because it looks like new lighting is coming our way.
Yeah, I wind up flipping the mirror all the time. Frederick County, Virginia, this is Jim. Jim, thank you for calling. Go ahead.
I was wondering if the lane departure warnings are going to work on like narrow country roads, or are they only going to work on like nice straight interstates with precise lane markings?
Great question. How does that work anyway?
It basically most of the systems have a camera, and they're looking for the lane markings. So as long as there's good lane markings, they seem to work pretty well even on corners. However, if the paint starts getting worn away, or if the pavements have been patched a lot, they get confused. And it's actually one of the problems they're finding when they're testing autonomous cars, that the different types of lane marking from state to state and the different quality of them is confusing the autonomous cars, and that's where they're running into trouble on these coast-to-coast jaunts they're making.
You know, I have trouble seeing the lane markings sometimes
especially wet.
On a rainy night, or if it's snowing.
Yep.
Car's going to get pretty confused.
And so far, my experience with the lane departure warning systems is that they also are susceptible to that, but the cameras are getting better, and they're probably better than my eyes.
Talk about electronics in cars a little bit. There was one ad for a vehicle that had Wi-Fi. Who needs a vehicle with Wi-Fi?
Ask the kids in the back seat. Well, that's one of the things.
Your phone has Wi-Fi.
But that's one of the things that's emerging. GM and Audi, again, have made a big deal about saying that they're going to put a portable hotspot in almost every vehicle they make. And they have all these ads showing these, everyone going down the road, and they're using their tablets and everything in the back seat, ostensibly at a cheaper rate than if they were just hooked up to the cell towers, right, even though that's where the signal's coming from. Everybody wants Wi-Fi everywhere. Go camping, it'd be nice to have it in your truck. So it uses a powerful transmitter to pull in the cell tower, and you can sit there and do your games or watch TV or do anything you want. It's another gimmick. I'm not sure how widespread, how it's going to go over, because a lot of the things they're putting in cars, polls are showing that people say they try them and say, it's too complicated. I don't want to do it.
And you worry about it breaks, and then instead of just getting a new Wi-Fi device, you're going to the car dealer, which nobody particularly wants to do for repairs.
I'm very concerned about how obsolescent a lot of these new electronic features are going to be, because if you're dealing with a home computer, you have it 2 years, you can't get parts for it anymore. The car companies will do better than that, but you do wonder at what point the car might be rendered undrivable because you can't find the parts for it.
Big anniversary show coming up?
Yeah, second week in October, our 35th anniversary show. Lots of looking back. We poke a lot of fun at ourselves, too. We've driven a lot of cars and had a lot of good times and made some mistakes along the way.
It was that Edsel review. That was the kicker. John Davis, host of Motor Week. Thanks for coming by.
My pleasure, Jeff.
Always
Thanks.
a good time. Thursday at this time on Your Money in Business, steering the State Retirement and Pension Fund in a volatile market. Join us for that Thursday at 7:30. Now, for all of us here at MPT, I'm Jeff Salkin. Thanks for watching and have a good night.
This program was made by MPT to serve all of our diverse communities.